Hi everyone, welcome to Explaining Mathematics. Have you got your papers and pencils ready? Today's class, fraction. Topic, mixed fractions and improper fractions. Prerequisite to this class: 1. Introduction to fraction and decimal. 2. Factors expressing fractions in lowest terms. If you are familiar with these two topics, please proceed to our channel's playlist and search for these two topics. There are three types of fractional numbers: proper fractions, improper fractions, and mixed fractions. Proper fractions, the numerator is always smaller than the denominator. Improper fraction, always the numerator is greater than the denominator. Mixed fraction consists of a whole number plus a proper fraction. Every mixed fraction can be written as improper fraction. Let's take a look at this example. On the left side, this is a mixed fraction. We call this 1 and 1/2. This mixed fraction 1 and 1/2 can be written as improper fraction to the right, 3/2. Mixed fraction 1 and 1/2 equals to improper fraction 3/2. Similarly, every improper fraction can be written as mixed fractions. Let's take a look at an example here. On the left side, we have an improper fraction 3/2. This improper fraction 3/2 can be written as mixed fraction 1 and 1/2. Improper fraction 3/2 can be written as a mixed fraction 1 and 1/2. Mixed fraction and improper fraction. We are now going to learn how to convert mixed fraction to improper fraction. Converting mixed fraction to improper fraction. Let's consider these three examples. First example, we have 2 3/4. We need to convert this mixed fraction 2 3/4 to improper fraction. To do so, we simply multiply the whole number by the denominator. We then add the answer to that to the numerator. Remember, the denominator of the improper fraction always remains the same as the denominator of the mixed fractions. Let's take a look at example 2. Here we have a mixed number 2 and 1/3. This mixed number 2 and 1/3, to write it as an improper fraction, we do the same. We multiply the whole number by the denominator, then the answer we add to the numerator. Also remember, the denominator of the improper fraction always remains the same as the denominator of the mixed fraction. Let's consider the last example. Here we have mixed fraction 1 and 4/5. We're now going to convert or change this mixed fraction 1 and 4/5 to improper fractions. To do that, we simply multiply the whole by the denominator, then the answer to that we add it to the numerator. Remember, the denominator of the improper fraction always remains the same as the denominator of the mixed fraction. Converting mixed fraction to improper fraction, let's consider the following. Here we have a mixed number 2 1/3. Just like our previous slide, we learned that to convert mixed fraction to improper fraction, we must multiply the whole by the denominator, then the answer we add it to the numerator. And please remember that the denominator of the improper fraction always remains the same as the denominator of the mixed fraction. Now we're going to put this on autoplay. Please follow up and see if you can figure out how to do it. Converting mixed fraction to improper fraction. Consider the following example. How many quarters in 2 3/4? 11 quarters. How many halves in 3 1/2? 7 halves. How many tenths in 2 3/10? 23 tenths. We're now going to learn how to convert improper fraction to mixed fraction. Convert improper fraction to mixed fraction. Consider the following example. How many halves in a whole? We know there are 2 halves in 1 whole. We have 2 halves in 1 whole. 2 halves makes up to 1 whole. Since we know this, let's now try to figure out the following example. How many wholes can I make out of 7 halves? Here we have 7 halves. 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves. We know every 2 halves makes 1 whole. We have 1 whole with 2 halves. Another 2 more halves makes up another 1 whole. Another 2 halves makes the third 1 whole. Therefore, we say 7 halves can make 3 1/2. 7 halves can make 3 whole and 1 half. Cool, huh? Let's consider the following example to convert improper fraction to mixed fraction. How many quarters in a 1 whole or in a whole? 1 quarter and 2 quarters and 3 quarters and 4 quarters. We know there are 4 quarters in 1 whole. There are 4 quarters in 1 whole. 4 quarters makes up 1 whole. Since we understand this, let's try to figure out the following example. How many 1 whole or how many whole can I make out of 6 quarters? Here, the example, 6 quarters. 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters, 5 quarters, 6 quarters. We know 4 quarters makes 1 whole. Therefore, we say 6 quarters makes 1 whole and 2 quarters. How many thirds in a whole? 1, 2 thirds, 3 thirds. There are 3 thirds in 1 whole. There are 3 thirds in 1 whole or a whole. 3 thirds makes up or equals to a whole or 1 whole. Since we know this, let's take a look at this example. How many wholes or 1 whole can I make out of 7 thirds? Here in example, we've got 7 thirds. 1 third, 2 thirds, 3 thirds, 4 thirds, 5 thirds, 6 thirds, 7 thirds. 3 thirds we know makes up to 1 whole. Another 3 thirds we know makes up to another 1 whole. Therefore, we say 7 thirds makes up 2 whole and 1 third. How many fifths in a whole or how many fifths in 1 whole? 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths. There are 5 fifths in 1 whole. 5 fifths equals to 1 whole. Since we know this example, let's try to figure out the following example. How many wholes or how many 1 wholes can I make out of 9 fifths? Consider the example 9 fifths. 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 5 fifths, 6 fifths, 7 fifths, 8 fifths, 9 fifths. We know there are 5 fifths in 1 whole. Therefore, we say in 9 fifths there are 1 whole and 4 fifths. Converting improper fraction to mixed fraction. Consider the following example. The denominator of the fraction is 3 and the numerator of the fraction is 7. 3 goes into 7 2 times. This will give us the whole number, number 2, as highlighted in white. The remainder is 1. As highlighted in white, this gives us the numerator for the fractional part. the denominator stays the same, always. Therefore, improper fraction 7/3 equals to 2 and 1/3. Let's take a look at another example. Converting improper fraction to mixed fraction. Here we have 17/5. The denominator of the fraction is 5, and the numerator of the fraction is 17. 5 goes into 17 3 times. This will give us the whole number 3, as highlighted in white. The remainder is 2. This gives us the numerator for the fractional part, which is highlighted in white. The denominator always stays the same. 17/5 equals to mixed fraction 3 and 2/5.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.